Hello, it's Pikoala here, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. So in today's build, we'll be doing a haunted house, but Hocus Pocus theme. Now, it was a very exciting build for me. I had this idea for like a while now. I just was trying to figure out how I was going to incorporate my ideas, because sometimes my ideas just run wild, and I'm just like, how can I incorporate that into a build, right? So I definitely wanted to do like a Victorian theme house. I love Victorian houses in general, so it was kind of a really like easy idea for me to make. Now, when I first started playing The Sims, it was a struggle making Victorian houses. Now I'm pretty sure though they didn't have like the pre-made circular rooms, or maybe they did. There was something that they didn't have that made it a lot harder back then, but now it's easier because they make it so easy for you. Or when I would make the roofing and I would like kind of size it weird, the roof didn't like fit it well. Like it would be completely off and I just had to deal with it. But yeah, so basically this build is a little bit of a haunted house. Now, haunted house is like a venue that you make. Now, I'm pretty sure you can live in the haunted house, like as in a residential. But I thought it was like a lot trait, but it wasn't. I was like trying to look for it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But I looked in the drop down venue options, and it was under venue. So it is that you can change it. However, to something else. There is like lot challenges and everything, like or lot traits that are like creepy crawlies, and then there's some lot challenges as well to make it a little bit. Oh, there's a lot challenge called spooky, so I made it that as well. So I didn't actually like playing game yet to see how it functions and everything, but I'll let you guys explore that. Of course, I'm gonna download this build on the gallery. But, you know, I was trying to debate whether to make this house like a, you know, fancy home with like a lot of stone, marbling, things like that, but yet haunted, because those, you know, those are that. But I was like, let me make it a little bit of mixture of stone, or bricks, I should say, and then a mixture of paneling as well. So the bottom stone is like from the vampire pack, and the paneling comes from the spooky pack, because I really like that paneling because it made it look very like worn down and like, yeah, worn down basically. So I really like that idea. And then I used the vampire windows. They had like some stone, but then there was like different swatches where it made it look kind of like dirty. So my idea of this house basically is that the outside looks so unkept, like that there's no one living there. That's what the house is made to look like. Now, if you've never seen the movie Hocus Pocus, I mean, it's a huge popular Disney Halloween movie. They did make a second one. I'm a huge fan, if you guys couldn't tell already. So the idea was that, you know, it's also in Forgotten Hollow. So you guys are probably thinking it's witches, like why wouldn't you make it in the Glimmerbrook world, which came with Magic Realm? But I'm like, they're not the nicest witches. Like in my perspective, Glimmerbrook is homed for like the good witches. It's very bright. Like you walk in there, you wouldn't expect a thing. Like you wouldn't expect any spookiness or any wrongdoing or whatnot. Obviously, don't get on a witch's bad side, but that's just my perspective of it. And I feel like these witches, like, they're not the best witches. They're not good witches at all. So I wanted to put them in Forgotten Hollow because they are welcome there. No one messes with them, right? But also, like, technically it's forgotten. It's very spooky there. It's very, like, the only people that walk in there are, like, the clueless Sims that are just walking along, taking a walk, taking a stroll at, like, 10 o'clock at night when it's like foggy, spooky. There's like bats and there's things glowing with their eyes looking at you. So I don't know, but that was my idea of it. Now the outside looks very unkept. Again, like no one lives there. You'll see, like I was trying to look for like caution tape to add into it, but or like add on the front side of it, because the idea is also like teenagers, like on Halloween night or spooky night, I should say, in The Sims, they'll want to explore, and they're just trespassing, and they want to see what's going on and be like, um, you know, reckless, I should say. And then, they come here and they're like wanting to scope in, but they can't get in. Now, the idea is like this house is closed off by magic. Like it's literally cursed by magic. You cannot get in. Now, if you are able to get in, it's a trap. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even try to go in. But no, I mean, honestly, with it being like filled with magic, if you walk in, it literally looks like what it looks like in the outside. Now, for trespassers that can get in, it's so lively inside. The Sanderson sisters do live inside, or the witches do live inside, and they're doing their normal thing. But from the outside, it looks like no one's living in there. So the outside was actually really cool to make. I mean, I used a lot of Vampire Pack, Magic Realm, Paranormal. I used some Basement Treasures Kit Pack as well. But like there's like the vines and the red roses, like the dried red roses. There's the like the horns and not horns, thorns. I mean thorns. That I put like around the house, like just again to make it look like it's not kept up. And I was thinking of putting like the entranceway of the gate there, but I'm like, you know what? It looked a little too much. It didn't fit the aesthetic as I thought I would. So I was like, let me just like leave it open. Maybe the gate broke or something. I don't know. Over time, it got like wilted down. But I used like minimal trees and forestry on the outside again, because with the trees and everything, I mimic what it looked like on the outside. But they're not kept up. Forgotten Hollow. It's a lot of like, it's just very spooky and just very like literally like a forgotten world. But that's when I add those little thorn vines or whatever you want to call them, and then I added some like long tall grass along with the dried rose bushes. So I actually take that greenery out, like the short grass, and I put the long grass just again to make it more realistic. I could have added like a few more of them around the lot, but I'm like, you know what, it's all right, like just as is. I mean, do they come out, the witches, at all? I would say yeah, like at night, to do their thing when they need to, like, I don't know, forage or whichever. Like, if you download the builds, and I will make the sisters, the witches, like on a separate video, and I'll create them, and then you could download together and you could just continue the story. But I don't know, it was just kind of like ideas that was coming to my head, and I really wanted to make a haunted house because I've never done it before. Actually, I never even like lived in a haunted house. So sorry for if you guys hear my cats in the background. The opening doors, basically, like you're hearing a squeaky door in the back, so I apologize. It's part of the video, right? But yeah, so wanted to make it look really spooky and whatnot. Adding in a little bit of things, like with the spider webs and the cobwebs and everything, just really added some character to it. And there was like some like cracks in the walls, like that detail that came with the vampire pack, and then also the werewolf pack came with like the nail scratching, like the scratching detail. So I put like the claw marks. Come on, girl, get it together. One of that claw marks, scratches, whatever, I put it along the house too to make it look a little realistic. But yeah, so I think I get into the inside now. Now it's just trying to figure out like the floor plan of it all. Now my idea was, with it being Hocus Pocus, was mainly like the rooms, the colors. Like, so there's 3 bedrooms upstairs. Each bedroom like has a bathroom. Now the only bathroom that doesn't have a bath upstairs is Sarah's room, just because I couldn't really fit it. Um, Now you will see like a circular portion of the house, like the circular part of the house. The downstairs one I do utilize as like a little office, but upstairs I do keep it empty, just because I just, aesthetic purposes, like I just wanted to match like the whole entire build. So I left it like I could have like painted it all black, but I just didn't. But you can always like add something to it or extend, whichever. But you'll see that when I'm upstairs. But the theme was mainly the colors. So there's colors, like I feel like so each witch has like their own color theme per se, like as far as their hair goes, their personality, the color of their dress, things like that. So that's kind of what I went based off of, especially their rooms. Their rooms have the most personality of each of them. Now I was trying to steer away from, like, because I had the vision of being like all black and spooky and like really dark and whatnot, right? But then I'm like, witches are very colorful in a way too. Like they have like the dark purple, they have the maroon, they have like even dark blue, dark green. So I was like, we can go that route, but like let's make it a little darker. So I kept going back and forth, but whenever I'm doing my builds, I always like put the flooring and I put the wallpaper just so I can get an idea, and then I add in the furnishing that matches along with it. Again, also just so I can see how everything is gonna fit. But that is just so you can get a little sneak peek. I do use that bed, but that was Winnie's room, the one with the green and the red. And then that one's Sarah's room, because she's like a purple and pink theme. Purple, pink, and I would say like maroon as well. And then she has like platinum blonde hair. And then this one is Mary's room. Now her room ends up being smaller, and that wasn't like intentional at all. It was just because the way I kind of did the layout and just how it worked out. I probably could extend it out more and like added in that circular portion of the house and made that into a bathroom. I definitely could have done that. But I don't know. I do like the way that everything came out too. But yeah, so I also tried to mainly use like lanterns and candlelights again to make it look a little bit more ancient. Also, I believe when it comes to the haunted house venue and like the spooky traits, like I think it's a lot challenge. It makes it a little bit more spooky to use the lanterns and whatnot. I mean, I know if you use like actual like lighting for like with electricity, it like flickers, like the lights flicker and stuff. But I don't know. I just thought, again, with the lanterns and the candle lights, it looked a little bit more ancient. So there's 3 bedrooms upstairs, 3 bathrooms upstairs, and then downstairs is a half bath as well. Just wanted to make it. I didn't also know what else to put. I mean, I really wanted to add a seance table, and I do add that on the very end, you'll see. But it just wouldn't fit like anywhere that I wanted to. But the kitchen was really fun to make. I just love making kitchens in general. But my idea behind it was like a black cat theme, so like all black. Now there is a black cat that lives in this house, or that stroams around. So I do put some like cat towers and like a cat bowl. The only thing I did forget though is a litter box. Now if you do have a cat, or if I do end up like downloading a cat into this house and he's just not like, a feral or whatever roaming around, he's not using the bathroom outside, you just have to add that in. But yeah, so the wallpaper that I use, besides the black tile, I believe that was from the Home Chef Hustle Pack, because that one was really cool. I like the swatches on that. But again, it's mainly black theme. I mean, there is some white tones, as you can see. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I could like fit everything I wanted to. Like the cauldron, I wanted to make sure it fit in the kitchen like smack in the middle, which it did perfectly. And then I added some of like those hanging herbs, I guess you'd say. And then like the stove. I just like the whole layout that was able to be done. The pots and pans, I put that right over the cauldron. I didn't test out this build, so I didn't see if like it still works or whatnot. I'm sure it can. Like I'm sure it will have no issue. That's why I made sure, because I knew I wasn't gonna test it out, that like I didn't want everything compacted and where it was gonna be a little struggle when playing with it, because I know how annoying that could be. Now those potion, like that potion display, I ended up moving it because, again, like I felt like maybe you can't really get through to there. It was just too packed, too cluttered. So I do end up moving it. I was like going back and forth if I can fit it in the kitchen, if I can't. I just felt it fit perfect in the kitchen, but I do fit it in some way somehow. I did that stand with the book. Now it looked pretty cool. Like it looked like a spell book, like cookbook type of deal, and that came with the vampire pack, believe it or not. So I did add that in. I put it like right, like I shoved it in the corner right next to the cauldron because it fit the aesthetic really well. Really well. And just adding some like minor details and whatnot. Those little graveyards that came with the vampire pack. I added like each single one. I didn't realize how many there was, but you can like add the story to it. Maybe someone passed away. I don't know, some ghostly stories there as well. Again, this house has a lot of history, a lot of history to it. So I did actually, I took away the cabinet and I shoved it there, and it fit there pretty well. So I was like, okay, perfect. Worked out perfect the way I wanted it to. Now, I was struggling with like making the build black spooky, but I'm like, witches have that colorful effect to them, you know, like just with like the dark purples, like I said. So I was like, let me steer away from like all black, especially with the wallpaper already being the black. I was like, let me add some more color to it. So that's just like the vampire table with the magic realm chairs, which I really like the combo of that. And then just like the minor details with like the crystal light, which I thought was really cool. I used a lot of like, not a lot, but like some of the basement treasures stuff too, because a lot of it came with like antique and like old looking things as well. The living room was a little bit of, not a struggle, I would say. I mean, I wanted to definitely fit in a fireplace, for sure. I was just trying to figure out which one. I didn't want it to be too big, but I wanted to match the theme of the outside, like the chimney on the outside, like on the top of the roof. But I was like either like going for like the black part of it, but then I was also leaning more towards like the colorful aspect to it. So I was really going back and forth with it. So yeah, just adding minor details. I used a lot of the packs, like the spooky pack, the spooky, is it game pack or stuff pack? I used Magic Realm, Paranormal, Vampires, Werewolves, Basement Treasures, and I used a little bit of like the other common packs, but just to kind of get every single detail from each of those like spooky supernatural packs to really get, you know, the look of everything. So you'll see me changing and messing around with the couch. Like I was gonna go for the basement one. That's the basement treasure pack, and then I loved that theme, but I was like, no, it's too loud, it's too much. That pattern with like the spider webs on the wall, it was just like too much. So I do end up changing it back to the paranormal couch because it just, the colorfulness and like everything, it fit the aesthetic. Now, with the windows, so I was like, you know, with the vampire windows, you can't really see much through, and I think that's on purpose, you know, with the pack. But I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic, and maybe like the witches do black out the windows, so they put like those really like those multiple layer curtains, so that way no one can like peek in if they could, or break the window or something. I don't know. I mean, you can't break the window, again, we said it's magic, but something, you know what I mean, just to kind of give it that aesthetic. In that way, you know, because they're not really looking out the window too much. But that was, and you'll see me like the windows, I'll put it not in every single one, like I switch up the windows in like each room and each hallway, but I did just want to fit that. Now the entranceway in the front, now it's very minimal. I did that on purpose just in case if anyone sneaks past and they go to the door and they try to peek in, they don't see much. Like, they're not seeing much going on, maybe, is what I was thinking. So I didn't want to add too much there. It's all black, it's not colorful, and I don't even think they can see into the living room either. But again, like I said, the moral, the theme of the story is basically that, the house inside is very lively. The witches are doing their thing on a daily basis. It's controlled by magic, so anyone can't really get in unless they do allow them in, maybe on spooky night or at night with trespassers. It's a trap, so I wouldn't do it. But I do find this little frame, like picture frame from the Basement Treasures, and I have like little children on it. So I do end up putting in Sarah's room because their theme obviously is luring children to like obtain their soul, so that way they get youth and they look younger and whatnot. Because obviously with them aging so much, you see the difference of them aging and looking like thousands of years old to like, normal age or whatnot. So that's the aesthetic of it. I was like trying to come up with a way on how it would look, and I just feel like that frame, or like the theme of it, I don't know, because that's like one of the sisters, Sarah, she like lures the children with her voice because she has a really pretty voice. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna put that in her room. Like, that's perfect. I could have even put it around the house, but I didn't like want to repeat it too much because there's only like one swatch with it. So but yeah, so like this is the one where I was adding like different curtains there, so I was just kind of messing with it. This is the little closet that I do place. Now the only thing is that with the Magic Realm pack, it obviously comes with like brooms and wands and everything, but for some reason, even in like the debug section, I couldn't find brooms or wands that I can download and place in the build. So I'm like, you know what, like you probably have to travel to Glimmerbrook, travel through the portal, and go to the Magic World to purchase those items, which I thought was weird. Unless I'm missing something. I don't know. Unless I missed it completely. So instead I just put like the vacuum that looks very similar. It's actually really funny. Very similar to the one that Mary uses in the movie. And then I just put in like those brooms or whatnot, which they look pretty, like movie-esque brooms that witches use. That's from the laundry pack. But like if you were to download this lot and you do like play with witches or whatnot, because like anyone can live in this house. Like I even put vampire themed portraits down. I mean, you can like remove some stuff. Like who knows? You can have a mixture of vampires, witches in this house. I don't know how that would be, but like live mode with their personalities and everything. But you can do anything. So honestly, like, go get creative, do what you gotta do. But yeah, so I mean, that was the only thing. But you can add the, in live mode, you can purchase the wands, and when you play with gameplay, you can purchase it and just place it in that closet. Like that was my idea of just putting all that stuff in there. But yeah, this is the next bathroom that I'm doing. So it's a half bath, but I made it all black, just kind of simple, very minimal. That's nothing crazy. Now, another thing that was annoying me, and I don't know if it's me or if it's something that hopefully the Sims will fix. I don't know. But I had to filter out items like multiple times. Obviously, like, so I wanted to use certain packs that match the aesthetic, as we know, right? But I would filter it whether it's like by color or pack, and then if I wanted to copy and paste like an item, like repeat the same item, it would cancel all the filters, and I'd have to go back and put all the filters again. Now, I don't know, it was just kind of annoying for me to do that, but like, why can't I filter it out, and then if I want to copy and paste, like, why does it take it all out? Because otherwise, like, if I put the filters and I wanted to repeat the same item, I had to go back into like the build by section or whatever, find the item again, and then place it, and then it'd be fine. So I was a little frustrating, but I just dealt with it, got the hang of it, whatever. So this is Sarah's room. So Sarah is the youngest of the coven. She's a little childish. She's a little flirtatious, like with men. She has like an obsession with them, or just like the romance or like the love of them. So I feel like her room became like a very romantic, not completely childish, but more of like a youth room. You know, kind of like, I don't know, like a late teen type of deal. I don't know. But I do like put some items, like I put like a teddy bear, like a cute little teddy bear because she thinks those are cute, type of deal, and then like a little toy cat, just like to display as like something cute. Because that's kind of how her personality is. And then she does have like platinum blonde hair, so I wanted to have some white in there. And then her dress does have like a little bit of like a maroon and like purple-esque with some pinks, so I just wanted to incorporate all of that. She really thinks flowers are pretty, so I added those in. As you can see, I put the portrait there as well. And then I do add in some, like, because she lures with her voice, I added in like a violin, some like music decor, just to kind of give that aesthetic. I do add, like, I sized down that man sculpture, and I put it on her end table with some flowers around it because, like, I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. It just fits her personality, with being, like, again, very flirtatious, and she's very goofy, a little dopey, but really, she's my favorite character out of all of them. Now this is Winifred's room, or Winnie's room. So she's the eldest of the coven. So I wanted to make her room a bit bigger. I wanted her to have an ensuite with like a master bath. So I made sure she had that. The colors couldn't fit any more perfect. So with her having like the red orange hair, and then she had like a little bit of green, maroon, dark blue with her dress and everything, and then she has a little bit more ancient, older furnishing vibe to it, so it just fit it more perfectly. She's literally the queen, I should say, of the coven. So I added a little bit more details with her, and like the dresser and everything. Added just every like color just fit in so perfect with her. That broken mirror I added in too. I think that was from the werewolf pack. So that was really cool. I did add like another bathroom or so in the build. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely really fun to make with the items and everything, the color theme. It just worked out so perfect. And that was like, I was scared. I'm like, but what if, like, the idea I had, I'm like, what if it's not gonna come alive? But, believe it or not, like, I wrote down all the colors that, I needed for each character. And I was just like, this couldn't have fit any more perfect. So it worked out. It worked out pretty well. Now I'm gonna go into her bathroom. We just did like a simple, tub. The flooring that I used was actually from the werewolf pack, which I thought was really cool. So it looks like really worn down. There's some cracks in it, whatnot. So it definitely fit the bathroom really well, because I did that in, I'm pretty sure, all the bathrooms too. But I gave her just like a regular bath. I didn't want to fit a shower, and it just didn't, like, with the room size and the circular portion, I just felt like a regular bath just looked better. And plus, it's a little bit more ancient with just like the bath itself. And then just, adding in some little details. Like I said, I used some of the vampire frames. So, you'll see some of that, and just like the ancient history, you know what I mean? And, they have friends that are vampires, whoever lives in the world, whatnot, Now, this is Mary's room. Now, Mary's room was a little bit hard, because I was like, her personality, she's a little bit more quiet to herself, but she's like the middle age. She's the middle-aged sister, so she is really good with her nose. So in the movie, she sniffs out the children because she has a really good nose. So I added in like very scent-oriented stuff, like the eggs and like the oranges. I was like, just very distinct. Like, she loves or she loves and like can smell anything from like a mile away, I guess. So she loves the smell of food and like the flowers. You'll see me put some incense down as well. That rug, which I'm pretty sure came with City Living, it has like fruits and vegetables, which I thought was funny. So anything like that, she just loves the smell of. And again, she just has a very, that's kind of like her talent with all of that. So you'll see me put some incense down in one of her, like in her dresser, and she has that like going all the time. But I don't know, that was just kind of my idea of it, because I couldn't think of anything else regarding that, basically. And this is just her bathroom that is just to the right of her. Now Sarah does like share this bathroom, I would say, with her, because she doesn't have a shower in hers, and again, that's just because I couldn't fit one. But we do give her a shower and a toilet, just something a little bit different. I could have just put like a tub, but just the way the layout worked with the door and everything, it just wasn't working out. But, you know, each bathroom I try to fit the theme of their room and the theme of their character, basically. And those lanterns, like with the hand and the candle, I use, that's from the spooky stuff. So it actually fit. I thought it was going to look a little, because some of the items are a little like, not corny, but like a little childish. Looks a little like only for spooky day, not like, or only for like decoration of spooky day. I don't know how to explain it. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. But it actually fit the aesthetic pretty good. Anyways, I added like that little the ancient radio. I don't know what it's called, but I do also add like the basement treasures. It's like a broken phone or like an ancient phone that I did add on that coffee table. So I'm just adding a little bit more details on the outside, like adding in some spooky face pumpkins. What I think would actually be really cool is like the actual pumpkins that you make in game, and like placing them with like the lidded candle, which would be really cool. Yeah, that would be pretty good. And then the graveyard plots, I do move to the front, just because I wanted it to be seen. I didn't want it to be hidden in the back. I felt it looked a little more spooky. And I just put like 4, you know, whichever. But, so my idea on this was like the statue. So in the movie, you'll see like the statues of the sisters. Like when they pass away, they just turn into statue, right? So my idea was like the front one, more towards us, is Winnie, because she's the eldest. I was really hoping that there was another statue that looked different. But you know, you get what you get, but it's okay. So I did put 2 of the statues. So basically like one of each, so like Mary and Sarah. That was my idea of it, and I like wanted to stick with it. I thought it was really, really cool. So I stuck with that and like left them to the side, because maybe that's their like quote unquote graveyard plots. And then, you know, the front with those plots, like who knows, you know. But instead of caution tape, so I use like these cones and like keep out stands or signs or whatever you call them from Get to Work, and it just actually fit really good, although they can get around it pretty well. But it's just like basically like a sign, like keep away. So I was just looking around to make sure that, you know, any finishing touches, whatnot. I did end up and I think I said adding a seance table, and that was towards the end, and I put it towards the back because it also like messes with the house too. I don't know if it's on the outside, if it messes with the inside, but I don't know. Again, you guys can explore all of that when it comes to the gameplay. But I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots. There's quite a few. I try to give a variety of how it looks. Now, this is the evening time. I do put a like a couple screenshots of what it looks like at nighttime. It actually looks really spooky and creepy. It looks really cool, I have to say. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the screenshots. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the builds with me. Again, if you want to download it, it'll be on the gallery at PikoalaSims. I will, you know, make the Sanderson Sisters in a separate video, like a Create a Sim video. That way you can download them all together. Or again, you can literally make your own witches or supernatural or whichever family, and, you know, play with them in this build. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions of what you want to see next, or if you had any suggestions of the build, like any ideas or whatnot, definitely let me know. Any of the issues that I have, if you guys like have any suggestions, let me know down below. And definitely subscribe if you want to continue watching videos, and I'll upload more. And if you want to download the Sanderson Sisters, definitely keep an eye out for that. But I'm gonna skedaddle. I hope you guys enjoyed the screenshots. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.